on the subject of efficiency, economic efficiency, when you play that to its logical extreme, right? What does that future look like? It looks like you sitting in your house, your Google Home or whatever, predicting every single impulse you have, pre-ordering things for you at the right time. The algorithms can predict your taste. Meals are getting delivered. Someone's emailing you. Gmail's like pre-answering, right? Like it has like pre-canned replies.
Yeah.
You've seen that feature, right? On Gmail?
Yeah, now with Gmail,
LinkedIn,
you just hit tab and it fills it out for you. Yeah.
So it's like, well, Mason sent you this 2-sentence reply. How do you want to answer? Choose one of the three, A, B, or C. And then over time, I'm sure it can probably even figure that out. So what does that future look like if you just literally optimize everything? Like it goes against, we're optimizing into like some parts of the human condition that it's counterintuitive for well-being and health even.
I think that's exactly what you're saying is it creates a system that's inhuman. It's inhuman system.
Economically, though.
Yeah. I mean, economically,
yeah.
You're going to have...
to the principle. So, like, there's some point, right? So, I guess there must be some point in the free market and the race to efficiency and to the human condition. It seems like they're not aligned perfectly. Right.
I think that's, a great example. And you just primed me for like one of the other things that's changed over the last decade is like, in the rush for efficiency, like what's lost, right? That's valuable. Like if you want to, you find there's a beautiful mountain next to a town and you realize there's a lot of valuable coal under it and you decide to tear down the mountain for coal, that mountain's gone forever, right? You just lost, something that for the sake of efficiency and getting the power from that coal, it was good in the moment and then maximized efficiency and gave electricity to, maybe millions of other people down the coast. But you something that's lost forever, right? And I think that's what you're...
Well, Soylent has a lot of the critics of Soylent had a really good example too, which actually wasn't that good of an example. It was a decent one. Drinking Soylent robs you of the social experience of enjoying food and sitting down and
having a glass of wine.
I get the sentiment, although like I viewed Soylent as a snack in clutch situations when you really don't have time to go and socialize. You need some energy. So that argument was half baked, but I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah. It's like there's something inhuman of just like IVing yourself fucking ingredients that are sustaining you, right? When you can break bread with your friends, laugh, have some wine, that's being lost.
I mean, you know that movie WALL-E, the Disney movie. It's got fat people sitting in those chairs, moving them around, and they're just entertained all day. They're fine, they're comfortable. But what kind of life is that? Like, what makes that life interesting or enjoyable? And that's, I think, what we have to consider as we kind of reach this point in our history where like we have this like. I've tried your AI. I haven't tried your AI headset. Not AI.
The VR.
VR headset. Yeah. I've tried Chris's, the one that the Oculus one that really Facebook made, and just why should I even travel? Why not just go in there and go see all the sights of the world and all that? But there's something lost, right?
There's
like the opportunity to go on a trip and like be in a place and like for something to go wrong and create a story out of it, or just to be there and something random, unexpected to happen is what makes life interesting. Right, it's the ability to experience life that's not clear cut and not just so, like you said, the kind of thing you're talking about, where everything is algorithm based. That's such a boring existence, man.
Here's my fear. I have a story. Actually, I made a video about this once. I was in Barnes and Nobles in Fair Lakes, and I was, I think, with Chuck, Roberta. I was like with 2-3 people. We were just kicking it. I was going through the aisles, and on some shit out of a movie, I turn around, like around the corner, and like face level is this little black book staring at me in the face called Obfuscation. Picked it up, incredibly fascinating take on privacy and how to solve it. That book actually inspired me to finish the X key concept I had, which I actually emailed to the author, Finn Brunton, and he loved it, and he said he's going to keep it on the list. And I'm actually going to get him on here, I hope, sometime soon. And that serendipitous encounter with the book led to me, inspiring me to finish a project, linking with the author, hopefully forming some sort of relationship. He's an incredible guy. He's on Wired explaining blockchains. Those explained to a first grader, a high schooler. He's on those. Oh, wow. So you can see Finn Brunton on there. Hopefully I can get him on here. If I was at home and if I was on the Apple bookstore, what if the algorithm never recommended that book to me? Yeah. So I have this fear of if I never step out to a bookstore, I'm literally placing my faith of discovery and serendipity in the hands of Apple's algorithm.
Yeah.
And they recommend books to me that they think I'll like, which
Something
is really
that
dangerous,
reinforces
right?
your
Reinforces
preferences.
my preferences.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I love going to that store out in Manassas, McKay's.
Yeah, we got to go back there. That's a great store.
You
Yeah.
know what I love about that
Secondhand
store?
bookstore. Yeah, that thing was beautiful.
You know what I love about that bookstore? There's no organizational system past categories.
Yeah.
You go in there, hey man, I'm looking for this book. Try to find it. If it's in there, it's in there. If it's not, it's not. I love that, man. In a day and age where everything is categorized and everything is hyper organized and you can get everything, there's some beauty to just like, dude, I don't know what we have, man. Go check it out.
And just the satisfaction of sifting through a stack
And
of books
discovering
and finding a
something.
gem. The
Bro,
excitement and
I found some incredible, 2 books come to mind, design related, that otherwise, honestly, they're technical books. One of them is technical. It's on cognitive science and design. Normal bookstores don't carry that book. No bookstore has that book. I haven't even checked on the Apple store. I'm sure it's on there. But if I hadn't gone there, there's no way I would have found it. And that scares me. It's like I have to proactively go and find shit to almost rebel against the algorithms.
yeah, that's fascinating that you
And
bring
when
up like
Case
that.
goes out of business, what do we do? I was talking the last episode I did with Chuck. Him and I went to Prague. The bookshop in Prague looked like the bookshop down the street.
Yep.
That's the other problem. Like that diversity of ideas, it's like everything is being industrialized. It's like Malcolm Gladwell. You have the top pop science books.
Yep.
Man, that's
globalization,
really fucking disappointing, man. That's
going
really
to
disappointing.
Paris, France, and seeing a Big Mac or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's losing that appeal. There's a story I tell when I was in LA one time, and I went to Zara and I got some fly ass jacket. I was like, I was gassed up. I come back in the airport in Reagan.
Yeah.
I'm going down the escalator. The dude's rocking the same jacket, and that's when it hit me. This was 2014 or 13 or 12. And that's when it hit me. I was like, holy shit. Being unique, like not even being unique, just having access to unique goods, it's like a thing of the past. This is what I love so much about Bulgaria. Back home, we have these little, they're not even boutique, they're moms and pop shops that are, 4 feet wide. Whatever they have at the time, that's it. That's
what you get.
7 jackets they sell out, and they go to Turkey to re-up. They pick up whatever Turkey had at the time at the factories, and that's it. And there's a beauty to that, right? Like it's like there's an excitement. Here, I'm seeing this with clothes. I'm seeing this with books. We had this conversation with Chuck on the first episode, and that worries me a lot, man.
I think what you're saying is absolutely right, and that's when I think that's a place where I've changed my opinion too. Is like when you keep pushing efficiency to the max, you lose those things that make life interesting.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe France. I'm half French, so I go back there a lot, and I see like how certain areas of France are kind of held in a kind of stasis because, people there's so many laws and so many social protections that certain systems that are wildly inefficient, probably shouldn't exist anymore, still exist. But at the same time, there's like interesting ways of life and interesting village life and like things that
something we can't find here.
Yeah, it's something that is subsidized in a way.
But maybe it's okay. Maybe certain things should be subsidized.
Maybe that's okay because it makes life, when you have the village restaurant that probably is not profitable anymore, but like
it serves a role in the community.
It's only open like 6 hours a day because, people think only work 35-hour work weeks and don't want to work, all the time. And it refuses to serve pizza because pizza's not French or something like that, even though pizza would make it a bunch of money. Right. It's like it's not our tradition.
Right. It's not what my great-great-grandma used to make.
You go there and you do taste like the unique character of that village. And right, this is like something that's unique and it's something that's deeply embedded in what this place has been in the past, right? And there's a value to that, man. Like that's what makes the world interesting. I think in America we're seeing a resurgence of that, like craft beers and like independent breweries opening up. Artisan coffee shops. Like everybody's like, fuck the Starbucks. Like I can get that anywhere, obviously, and like there's a comfort to that. But at the same time, like, is my life interesting? Like if I find this little coffee shop that only I know and I can go tell my friends about it, that's inherently way more interesting to me than saying like, I'll take you to Starbucks. Everybody knows what fucking Starbucks is. One in every city block, right? And that kind of ubiquity, I think there's gonna be a rebellion against that. So I wouldn't worry about it because I think that it's inhumane in a sense. It takes away the human desire for creativity. And also, like, same with those marketing ads and stuff like that. Like, I'm already, becoming really skeptical of social media because I feel like it's trying to feed me what I want.
Right.
And that's not interesting. I get most interested when I meet people like when me and you first became friends. You were somebody who was a lot more on the atheist spectrum. I was much more on the religious spectrum. But I've always found it interesting in my life to talk to people who disagree with me,
Right.
have very different opinions because the conversation is frankly just a lot more interesting, right?